Welcome back. Today we're making a killer spinach artichoke dip. The first thing I need to do is preheat my oven to 375 degrees. And while it's preheating, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my dip. So I'm going to turn the stove on to medium-high heat. And in a large pan, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter along with 1/4 cup of minced garlic. I realize it's a lot of garlic, but believe me, it just really makes the dish. Now, if you don't like garlic a lot, you can certainly cut back. I would cut back to maybe a couple tablespoons, but I really think the amount of garlic is perfect for this. And I'm going to let this cook for about 2 minutes until just golden brown. And when it reaches that state, it's nice and fragrant, I'm going to add 10 ounces of fresh spinach that I have washed, drained, and dried. And that's going to seem like a lot of spinach to start out with, but it definitely will cook down and will be just about 1/4 of what you see here. And now it's only going to take a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. I'm just going to toss it nicely with the garlic and the butter. And once that's starting to cook down, you see how it's starting to wilt nicely. It's not going to take long at all. And there you see it's cooked down perfectly. Now I am going to add this to my strainer to drain off the excess liquid. We don't want any extra liquid in this at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour that in there. And I'm going to go ahead and scrape out all the excess. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of 2 tablespoons of butter along with the artichoke hearts that I have drained and chopped. I'm going to go ahead and shred my pepper jack cheese. I'm going to shred about 8 ounces. And then my artichokes are nice and tender and starting to turn a little bit golden brown. And I'm going to go ahead and pour them in with the spinach. Again, I'm going to scrape out the pan to get all those goodness out. To the pan, now I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of butter along with 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. This is going to help thicken this up and make a nice roux. Now I am going to let this cook for about 2 minutes. I want the flour to cook through. If you don't do this, it'll undercook and it may have kind of a pasty flavor. We don't want that. That's not good eats. Now to that I'm going to add 1/2 cup of milk and I'm going to give it a nice whisking. I want this to thicken up. So this first bit of milk, I'm just making sure there's no lumps. And my pan's just spinning round and round. And to that I'm going to add an additional 1 cup of milk. So that's 1/2 cup and the second 1/2 cup. Now I'm going to whisk this again and I'm going to let this simmer for just a few minutes. As it simmers, it will certainly thicken up. And you can see now it's nice and thick. I'm going to use my spatula here and just give it a nice whisking or stirring. And to that I'm going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese. Now you can use full fat or you can use a reduced fat. I did use a reduced fat in this. Not that it makes any difference with a full stick of butter in the recipe, but you know. Anyhow, I'm going to stir that until just melted. And to that I'm going to go ahead and add my cheeses. Now I am using feta cheese. I would normally buy a block and crumble my own, but I decided to go ahead and buy the pre-crumbled. So I'm adding 1/2 cup. This adds just a really good kind of a twang to it. It's a little bit different. I'm going to add 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese that's shredded, not the powdered, but the shredded kind. And to that, a cup of the pepper jack cheese that I shredded just a little bit ago. And I'm just going to stir this nicely. This is going to be really nice and thick. It's almost going to be the consistency of a fondue. And I want to make sure this is all melted and evenly incorporated. And once I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and add my seasonings. I'm going to add salt, pepper, and ground red pepper. It's really simple. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of the ground red pepper. Now you can use up to half of a teaspoon. I wouldn't go any higher than that. Ground red pepper, a little bit goes a very, very, very long way. And so we're going to give this a nice stir. And once all of that's mixed well, I'm going to go ahead and add my artichoke, spinach, and garlic back in. I get all that goodness in there. And I'm just going to give it a nice stir. And make sure it's coated well. And I'm going to let this simmer for just a couple of minutes while I'm preparing my pan. I'm taking a 2-quart baking dish I've sprayed with nonstick spray, and I'm going to pour in my spinach and artichoke dip. Look at that. That is good eats, I'm telling you right now. So delicious. I don't want to waste any of it. I want to get every drop of that in there. And I'm going to top that with the remaining pepper jack cheese. And I can say you can never have too much cheese. And once I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my preheated oven. And I'm going to let this bake for about 25 to 30 minutes until just golden brown, hot and bubbly. Now I'm going to serve this with a baguette that I have sliced. And I actually bought this on the clearance rack at the Kroger for $1. You can't beat that. I'm going to go ahead and melt a half a stick of butter and add about a teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'm going to brush each piece of bread with this. And this is going to make a nice toasted baguette, I guess. I don't know my words tonight, sorry. And once I've got all the bread done, I'm going to put my oven on broil. And I'm going to pop these bad boys in the oven. Now you want to watch this. This does not take very long at all to broil. You don't want to burn it. I'll check it after about 2 minutes. It's starting to get a little bit golden. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in there. And it's been another 2 minutes or so. Now you really want to watch this. Ovens can vary. And so I'm going to serve this with a focaccia cracker and these little pieces of bread. And once I've got that plated nicely, I'm going to go ahead and get my dip out. I really wish you could smell this. It smells so delicious. Garlicky and cheesy. Oh my gosh. So very not healthy, but oh so very good. And those are the crackers that I use, the focaccia crackers, excuse me. And there you go. It's ready to serve. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I'll be posting 3 videos a week, 2 cooking and baking videos, along with 1 randomness vlog. Now, I'm not a big fan of spinach if it's cooked. I like it cooked a few ways. I like it on pizza. There's a couple pizzas that I just love that have spinach on it. One is from Domino's, and one is from Lost Pizza, which I have a vlog for. Best pizza in the area. I also like it in a dish that my friend Mary Louise makes. She's Italian. It has garlic and Parmesan cheese. It is so good. Definitely want to try to make that. If I do, I will be doing a vlog on it as well. And then, of course, spinach artichoke dip. You can't go wrong. It's one of my favorite dips. I've really been kind of hungry for it, and it makes a lot, and it's not very healthy. So I did not want to make it just for me because I'm the only one in the house who will really eat it. So I did make it for a gathering I was going to. It was a huge hit. I also had bought a $1 discounted loaf of bread from the Kroger, and I cut that up, put some butter and garlic on it, toasted it in the oven under the broiler until it was just crispy, served it with that, and some focaccia bread crackers that I found, and that was what I served it with. You can also serve it with tortilla chips if you'd like. It's just really good. It's very decadent, so a little bit does go a long way, so you don't want to eat too much. Well, you may want to, but it may give you a stomachache because it is very rich, but it's very delicious. You can't go wrong. Butter and cheese, spinach and artichoke, most delicious. Well, I think that's about it. I hope you guys have a great day. Remember, not every day is good, but there is always something good in every day, and I will see you next time.